My dad said this to me and I couldn't sleep for the next days. I am 29 years old and my father is 58. We have never been close in the way you see in the movies. There are no deep heart-to-heart talks, no shared secrets, and no emotional breakthroughs, but we aren't enemies either. We exist in a quiet, stable middle ground. We send short text messages on holidays, and occasionally we watch the same football team on TV from separate houses. Most of the time, he only calls me when something breaks. He spent his entire life working with his hands, and when I was a kid, he taught me how to fix engines, patch drywall, and repair leaky pipes. Now that I am an adult, he calls to ask how my car is running or if I fixed that squeak in my kitchen floor. I think that is his way of saying he loves me. It is the only language he knows, but last night the phone rang at 11:30 p.m., and everything changed. The moment I answered, I knew something was terribly wrong. His voice didn't have its usual rough, confident edge. It sounded thin, hollow, and incredibly old. He started asking me how I was doing, which was normal, but then he asked about my job. Then he asked about my girlfriend, Sarah, calling her by her name. My dad almost never remembers names. He usually just calls her your girl. The fact that he remembered her name made a cold wave of anxiety hit my chest. Then came a long, agonizing pause. The silence stretched out over the line for what felt like an eternity. I could hear his heavy breathing on the other end. Finally, he spoke. His voice cracked slightly. He said, "Hey, kid, I need to ask you for a really big favor. And please, if the answer is no, just tell me no. I won't be mad." My heart started racing. I sat up in bed, the sheets slipping off my shoulders. My dad has never, not once in my entire life, asked me for a single thing. He didn't ask for help when I was in college. He didn't ask for help when he lost his job a few years ago. He is a fiercely proud man who would rather starve than beg. He took a deep breath and told me he needs exactly $8. $400 by the end of the month. He didn't explain what the money was for. He didn't give me a reason. He just muttered, "Some old stuff finally caught up with me, kid." But the scariest part of the call wasn't even what my father said. It was what I heard in the background. Through the quiet static of the phone line, I could clearly hear my mother sitting in the room with him. She wasn't saying a single word, but I could hear her crying softly in the dark, and that silent weeping was the loudest, most terrifying part of the entire call.